A new flavor for your ear. Epic Spotlight. Putting the spotlight on positive goings on the real people that have chosen a real path. The who's, the whys, and the hows are being shared and given to you.
We got another one. But before we get going, we got to take care of housekeeping notes. Today's episode is sponsored by Epic Mortgage. Whether you're buying, refinancing, or investing, call Epic today. That's 708-905-5300. That's 708-905-5300. It's your dreams, your goals. Let's plan together. Now on with the show. Today we have Evan Wheeler, the founder and owner of Wheeler Insurance Solutions and Expertise. With a keen understanding of insurance industry and a commitment to personalized service, Evan has built a reputable business dedicated to providing tailored insurance solutions for individuals and businesses alike. His extensive knowledge and innovative approach have made Wheeler Insurance Solutions a trusted name in the field, ensuring clients receive the best coverage to meet their unique needs. Passionate about empowering others through financial protection and security, Evan continues to lead his company with integrity and client-centric focus. Welcome, Evan.
Hey, thank you, Dante. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, man, thanks for thanks for coming on the show. So, what is Wheeler and what do you guys actually do?
Yeah, so Wheeler Insurance Solutions and Expertise, or WISE, is basically an insurance consulting firm. We consult on various different insurance-related issues, mainly within the claims arena, property damage arena.
Got it. Now, obviously, insurance industry has changed over the years. What have you had to do to kind of adapt to some of those changes?
Yeah, I mean, insurance, that's 100% correct. It's changed quite a bit since I started over 20 years ago. I would say the main thing, the biggest impact is technology. The technology has kind of gotten people used to instantaneous results, things like that. But I think we both know that when it comes to claims and property damage, that process is not super fast. And so the expectation of things just being kind of instantaneous and, right there at a click of a button, that has kind of made things a little more difficult on the claim side from the, carrier or insurance side, basically because we still have to do all our investigations and review the policy and all that kind of thing. And so the meeting the expectation has been kind of a difficult thing. But with that being said, we, insurance carriers, consultants, we have implemented several different technologies, softwares, things like that can try to keep up with that demand and that expectation. So just staying on top of that is quite the thing to try to do, because there's just so much coming out. But I think in the long run, the technology will catch up with the practices, and insurance will evolve over time. So
definitely. Now, when we talk claims, are we strictly talking property damage, or are we talking all claims, whether car, auto? What exactly claims are we speaking of?
Yeah. So when it comes to if I am consulting directly as an expert that's been doing this for over 20 years, I have my designation in casualty insurance, fraud, and property. I'm also real versed in auto and homeowners insurance because I am licensed as an agent. I briefly sold insurance policies. Wise does not offer any insurance policies, but because I've been in the industry so long, I have so many different connects. I often get asked that question, like, who should we go with? I'm buying a house. Which insurance company should I go with? Or I'm getting a new car. Which one is the best? And so we can consult on auto, home, life insurance, but we primarily are focused on property damage and helping people with, had a flood or hurricane wind, lightning, fires, any kind of damage. We consult on those because I found that most people have never had a claim in their life. And when they do have one, they don't have any clue like what to do, where to start, what to do, what not to do, things like that. And so basically my focus with Wise is to educate the general public, get some more, better understanding, knowledge of the claims process, and just kind of, guide people in the right direction, and kind of telling them what things that they should do, things they shouldn't do, just to make sure that the claims process is streamlined and is the best claims experience that they can have.
Definitely. No, that's great. Now, obviously, with the property casualty, now you're based out of Denver, Colorado. Is this strictly just for Coloradians, or do you work with people around the country, or how does that work?
So I have worked with people in other states. We are primarily in Colorado for now. We will be branching out within the next year to 2 years, branching out into other states. And essentially any insurance, any state within the country, I can pretty much kind of consult on because they all have basically the same principles and things like that. Policies can differ from company to company. So it all just depends on your ability to interpret policy language and then from there convey that to the, layman, the customers, people who aren't in the insurance industry, and just not knowing how to kind of dumb it down for them so that they can get it. And so, so to answer your question, I can consult from different states, but I am based in Denver, Colorado. And the majority of our work is coming in Colorado right now.
Got it. Now take me back to the journey, just how did you get started, kind of, because this is a niche, and, so how did you really get started into this niche? How did you evolve your company? Just take me through, walk me through that path.
Yeah. So, okay. To start with that, I think you might need to know what we specialize in. We do insurance consulting for kind of across the board, but we specialize in helping property owners with partially paid or denied claims minimize their out-of-pocket costs. And that came about because my whole reason for getting into this industry was because I wanted to help people. I wanted to be that guy that when your house burns down and you have nowhere to go, you have nothing to your name, I'm the guy you call. And I get you into a hotel. I get you in advance for your contents so you can go buy clothes and toiletries and things like that. So I wanted to be that person to do that. And within my 20 years in the industry, I definitely did do that. However, after so long, I got to a point where I felt like I was denying more things than I was helping people. And so with that weight on your shoulders, I just kind of got burned out and got into a position where I was like, I need to figure something out. I need to start a business. I need to see how I can help these people out, and because basically nobody, once a claim is denied, everybody is hands off at that point, right? The adjuster is like, sorry, nothing I can do for you. The contractor's like, hey, no money. I can't help you out. And I really felt bad for people when I had to tell them, tens of thousands of dollars, you're just going to have to figure it out. And there's no resources, no additional information we can give you. It just didn't sit right with me. So after experiencing that is what really led me to start this company, because I realized how many denied claims actually happen. And when you pay, premiums and you expect, that things are going to be covered and that you don't have to come out of pocket, which is the general expectation, I feel like, of any consumer that purchases insurance, is two things that they think about: premiums. They want their premiums to be low, and they want their claims covered. That's it. And when one of those doesn't happen, it can get really frustrating. And then also just to not have any guidance after the fact, just everybody is done. So my company basically will walk the property owner through the process of, getting an estimate for the repairs, actually finding a contractor to do the repairs, and making sure that that contractor is reputable, somebody that, does good work, things like that. So we walk our clients through the process to streamline that as much as possible while minimizing their out-of-pocket costs. And how we do that is in three ways. The first way, we act as a general contractor for free. So basically, whenever you use a general contractor, they add on 20% overhead and profit, because they have administrative fees, and as a business, they need to make profit. Basically, we do that as kind of a charitable type thing, where it's still money to be made. It's just not as much, but we're not doing it to make money. We're doing it to help people. But then we also supplement, the income with several other services, such as claims estimation, market research, expert witness, things like that. And that's kind of where we offset the cost of, helping people minimize their out-of-pocket costs. The second way we do it is we get you in contact with like a financial advisor, or somebody that is well versed in kind of looking at people's assets and determining what's the best course of action for funding that project. So, people can borrow from their 401ks. They can borrow from the equity in their house. They can take out a loan. It's several different ways, but not all of those ways are equal, or not all of those ways will leave you in the best financial position. Sure. So we get you kind of connected with a financial advisor who looks at everything holistically, your whole finances, everything, and put together a plan of what can help you in the future as well. And then the last way is, just depending on the situation, we can help look for governmental assistance. So depending on whatever the loss was, if that could qualify for getting some type of assistance from the government, we will research that for you. And then if you qualify, then we walk you through and help you, apply for it and things like that. So that's our three-pronged approach to kind of how we help these individuals get through this hard time in their life.
Oh, that's great. Obviously from you, and I'll take it back to one of your answers. You talked about like layman, and obviously I'd be viewed myself as a layman, especially into the insurance space. How does a consumer, choose the right insurance coverage, or how do I know, reading that fine print, that's not something I do on a day in, day out basis. So I see the need in you, but also like, how can we kind of prepare ourselves or know what to look for?
Yeah. So, I think it's several ways. The thing about it is, no insurance company is perfect. However, there are some that do better than others. And the way I feel like you will find that out is just kind of do a lot of research online, look for reviews. If you are going with a company that has a dedicated agent, you can actually reach out to them, see if you can meet them in person, fill them out, and then just kind of ask some of the questions that are, really prevalent to what you need and in the different insurance space. And yeah, also talk to, neighbors, relatives who may have the company that you are looking into, see what their experiences are, things like that. Like I said, it's two things that most consumers look for, and that's premium and covered claims. The problem is, if the premiums are cheap, it's a reason for that. It's probably because there's some exclusions in the policy that exclude certain coverage for, things that other policies may cover. And that's why that the premiums for those are higher. So I will say, if you are very concerned about protecting your property, your family, you probably don't want to cheap out on that aspect.
Sure.
I can probably name a couple of companies off the top of my head that I actually work for and that I know have very good claims departments. One of those is Farmers Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're right up at the top. Travelers Insurance and Chubb, which they may be one of the same. But yeah, those three are, from my experience in the industry, are probably the best claims claims experiences, but they're not the cheapest. So
Sure.
Just keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's kind of a counterbalance, right? I mean, with the aspect of I want to get the cheapest, insurance, because sometimes it's for, buying a house, and, I have to fit these parameters, from a debt to income ratio. But then you do need to probably go back to that insurance agent and then say, hey, what did I exclude to get here? Because cheap is kind of a subjective word. I mean, right now, I know it's kind of broad, but what would you say, even in Colorado, what is a good, what would be an average insurance premium? Is that hard to do, easy to do?
Colorado right now, man, rates are through the roof, both home and auto. I think Denver is like the number one car theft city in the country. And we're at one or two for hail damage. And and we just kind of had one in Denver about a week ago. And yeah, it's the rates right now, if you live here, you're going to be paying a pretty penny. But for auto, if you have full coverage, I think anywhere in between 300 to 500 may be a good area a month. For home, that just totally depends, because it just depends on what kind of home you have, the materials, the value of the home, where you are, where the home is. Because if you're on like a fire line, then your insurance is going to be higher, or you may not be able to get insurance in that area. That I've run across that, because the wildfires are a thing. We have so many here. So it's kind of hard to say on home. I can't really give you a price on that, because that range is crazy,
Sure.
So, but for auto, yeah, I think like if you can get a policy in between 300 and 500 a month for full coverage, you're doing pretty good here in Colorado.
Got it. So, just as we wrap up, tell me a story. Walk me through just a successful, client situation that you've had, that, you really were able to help them and kind of guide them, that, I guess initially they didn't know what to do and they came to you. Yeah.
I have one that I tell often, because it is my best story. Is the most like feeling time at doing what I do. But basically, there was a single mother of 6 kids, and she had a flood. I think the bathtub overflowed. One of the kids did something with the bathtub. She wasn't paying attention, so it overflowed. The whole house was damaged. The flooring, the drywall, everything in the entire house, floor level, was just damaged, and just no one could live there. The problem is, since she has 6 kids, there was no hotels that would allow that occupancy, 7 people in a room. And they were all small children too. They were all under the age of, I think, 4 or something like that. So they were all very small children. So she would have had to be in the room with them. Like, she couldn't get 2 rooms and just leave, some in this room. And so I had to do a lot of research, but essentially we found a resort that didn't have that occupancy limit. The problem was the other problem was that it was $10,000 a night.
Dang.
And and I think she only had like $50,000 or $60,000 in additional living expenses coverage. So, that means after 5, 6 days,
It's over.
like, we can't pay for her to be anywhere. Um, I escalated that all the way up to a second line, like vice president or something like that, because generally you can't exceed limits on your insurance policy. If with the limit is 100,000, once it hits that, it's done. I was able to get them to make an exception. This was a special case.
Wow.
And they allowed it for an additional, I think, 4 or 5 days. Then we ended up finding her a comparable house to move into until the repairs were done. She was so grateful. And it just warmed my heart to actually be able and be a part of being able to get her, because she didn't have any family. So, she essentially could have been out on the street,
Right.
if it wasn't for that. So, that was one of my biggest career moments of where I helped somebody out and just felt really good about it. And then we've had several claims since we've opened up that were either denied or, partially paid. And the homeowner couldn't figure out how to get this taken care of. And every time we are able to come in there and provide solutions for people like that, it makes it worth it. Honestly, because I believe the type of person I am, I feel like I'm here for service to help people.
Sure.
And to make life a little bit easier, because life is hard. Just point blank, if you live in life is hard. We all have our issues. And so just being able to be here and help people out, make life a little easier, has been extremely rewarding for me.
Hey, Evan Wheeler, I appreciate you coming on. That was great information. And definitely.
Thank you for having me.
Man, that's awesome, man. We're going to have to do this again.
Absolutely. Anytime.
All right, to be continued. Thank you.
The who's, the whys, and the hows are being shared and given to you. Epic Spotlight.